Casie with Nectar Flow Yoga, and this session is all about the Vinyasa. What it is, how you do it, and why. So in my classes, I will frequently say Vinyasa as a way to cue a transition to downward facing dog. Vinyasa simply means special movement, and it has come to mean or be synonymous with flow yoga. And it means that we are transitioning smoothly from position to position. Oftentimes, it means coming from standing and making our way to downward facing dog, or from a lunge position to downward facing dog. There are so many different ways to modify or amplify this idea of a vinyasa, and so I'm going to break a lot of that down for you today, as well as look at the fundamentals of why we do it anatomically and how to do it safely. So to demonstrate, to begin, Vinyasa is essentially based on the sun salutation. So I will guide you through that, and then we'll work through the modifications. So to demonstrate again, come to standing, bend your knees deeply, find a neutral position with the pelvis. The tailbone is not tucking and glutes are not squeezing, but we're also not sticking the booty way back. So we find this neutral position, soft bend in the knees, thighs are gently engaged, feet are rooting down. Belly is lifting softly up and in. Breath is going into and expanding the chest. Palms can face slightly forward to help open up into the shoulders. Your shoulders are stacked right over your hips. Crown of the head tall toward the ceiling, and then your chin is neutral or parallel with the ground and drawn back in toward your throat. Inhale, reach up, expand up. Arms can stay high and wide to keep the shoulders away from the ears. And then on your exhale, we'll hinge at the hips. I like to bend my knees so I can fold forward with a flat back. Head and neck will release. Inhale, halfway lift, find length in your spine. And then on your exhale, you'll plant your hands and step your feet back to a high plank shape. Holding high plank here, crown of the head tall, heels toward the back of your mat, thighs are fired up. I like to turn the eye of my elbow forward so that I can engage into my lats. And then traditionally, the elbows will bend straight back and you'll lower halfway. It's not so much a push-up because it requires you to bring the elbows in and use the triceps. And then from here, upward facing dog, toes will tuck and we bring it up and back to downward facing dog. That is the traditional transition for sun salutation A. And to complete it, we inhale, look forward, come up on the toes, walk our feet to our hands, halfway lift, and fold forward. Bend your knees, rise up, inhale with a flat back. I have a little assistant here. So that is the sun salutation A. To modify, we inhale, reach up. Exhale again, option for the bent knees, flat back, fold over. Halfway lift, hands will plant, step it back to high plank, then drop the knees. Tops of the feet go flat. Again, my eye or inner elbow is facing forward as I wrap the elbows in. Now, I'm going to tilt my pelvis slightly, lower all the way down to my belly. And I can't go all the way down because of my mic. But here, I'm in this forehead down, supine position. And I'll inhale, come up for a cobra pose as my modification for up dog. Still challenging, still a back bend, but not quite as deep. Lower the forehead down. Now I'm going to press into my knees, press into my hands, come up with a flat back. What I want to avoid in this coming up is what I like to call the reverse worm, where you push your chest up first, the hips stay heavy, and then it compresses into the low back. So if this, lifting with the hips first, is challenging for you because of strength in the arms, I encourage you to push yourself back first into a child's pose, then come up and press back to downward facing dog. So we'll practice that modification again. Inhale, look forward, come up on your toes and walk your feet to your hands. Halfway lift, exhale, forward fold. Inhale, bend your knees, root down, rise up to stand, feel your foundation, extend through your fingertips. And then exhale, hands through your heart, bend your knees, forward fold with a flat back. Inhale to halfway lift. Again, lengthen your spine, engage into your lats. Exhale, hands plant, and we'll step back, high plank. Press the ground away, knees down. Tops of your feet flat, engage your low belly. I tilt my pelvis, maybe even a little exaggeration there, and then lower down. Chest, chin, then my hips. Inhale, come up for a cobra pose. Wrap your elbows in, lift your chest. Very little weight in the hands. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, press back to child's pose or modified plank, and then tuck your toes and bring it to a downward facing dog. Breath in here, breath out. Inhale, look forward, walk your feet up to your hands. Lift up halfway, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach, expand up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Now, another option, if all of that movement feels like a little too much, you're still really beginning your practice, or wanting to simply build a little more strength in your high plank, you can skip the lowering down. So you can inhale, reach up. Again, bent knees, flat back, fold over. Folding. Halfway lift, find length in your spine. Look forward, back of your neck stays long. Exhale, hands plant. Step back, high plank. You can simply hold this high plank for a few breaths and meet in down dog. Or you can hold modified plank, find child's pose, then meet in downward facing dog. All options to explore when I or another teacher says Vinyasa. You'll inhale, halfway lift, always as you come to the top of your mat, and exhale, fold. And we do that again to engage the posterior chain. Inhale, reach up, rise up. Exhale, hands to your heart. So I'm going to give you one more modification if any of this is feeling like too much. You'll still get the back bend option with this modification. So inhale, reach high and wide. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step your feet back. Drop your knees down to a tabletop. Inhale, cow pose, round your spine. Exhale, tuck your toes, downward facing dog. Inhale, look forward, walk your feet up to your hands. Halfway lift and forward fold on your exhale. Inhale, rise up. We'll do that once more. Exhale, hands to your heart, chin to chest. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, bent knees, flat back, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Avoid halfway lifting like this with your spine rounded. Exhale, you'll fold. Inhale, halfway lift again because I gave you an extra one. Plant your hands, step your feet back, drop your knees. Cow pose, so you're finding this back bend shape without having to come all the way down to the belly. Tuck your toes, press back, down dog. You can also add a child's pose in there. Lots of options to play with. And if this feels confusing, I encourage you to watch this video a couple times to kind of get the hang of what works in your body. Inhale, look forward, come up on your toes, walk your feet to your hands. Root down and rise up to stand. Exhale your hands to your heart. So those are some ways to modify or simplify the vinyasa, the transition, if you are still building strength, still learning the different postures in the practice. If you feel really comfortable with the chaturanga to up dog and downward facing dog, I'll do another video to show you how to amplify that transition. So thank you so much. Version 2 coming up next.